So the candy that I've made today, some would call Italian torrone, but it really isn't that. The real torrone is made with egg whites and sugar mainly. There are other ingredients, but it's made with those specifically, and edible rice paper as a layer on either side. Whereas what I'm making is made with wafers, and the ingredients are almonds and marshmallow and chocolate. Now you can either do dark chocolate or a white chocolate, and I happen to have dark chocolate in-house. I like the white chocolate one too. I like the looks of it. I like the taste of it. But I had the dark chocolate chips in-house, so I made it with that one. And this is something that I haven't made in years, but I do remember my mother making them at Christmas time, and me just thinking they were the most awesome candy around. But I've got a sweet tooth anyway. I probably shouldn't be making these, and if I do, I should make sure that everyone gets a good portion of it, so not too much of it is left here for me to devour. Although I'm sure I'll have a taste or two, and maybe one too many. Anyway, it's a bit of a process, and I love this stuff. I don't know why we only make it around Christmas, but traditionally that's the only time I've ever seen them. Okay, so I don't have a specific recipe. I haven't made this in years, so I'm going more by instinct, I guess, and some idea of what I'm doing, and hopefully it'll turn out fine. And I will try to write down a recipe after I've completed it, as long as it does turn out the way I expect it to. Okay, so that's it for the time being until I show you how I make this. See you soon. Okay, so today I'm going to try and make something that I haven't made in years. I don't have a recipe per se, so I will try to write down everything that I do and try to come up with a recipe when I'm done. Okay? Okay, first thing is I want to peel my almonds. I don't want the skin on my almonds, so I'm going to take, I'm taking approximately 2 cups of almonds, and the easiest way to peel them is to soak them in warm water for a few minutes, and then the peel should slide off very easily. It is a bit of a labor-intensive process, but we'll get through it. Okay, I've also lined a cookie sheet with parchment paper and turned on my oven because I do want to toast these once we've peeled them. Still not quite ready. It would just slide out. Probably should have soaked these a little bit earlier. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to assemble some of my other ingredients, and I'm going to go with, to start off with, 1.5 cups chocolate chips. So that's 1 cup and approximately another half. So I've got my almonds, my chocolate chips. We're going to want 1/4 cup of butter, and 1 bag, maybe more, perhaps 2 bags of marshmallows. So we'll see how that goes. I'm also going to use a little bit of my orange extract, vanilla extract, and store-bought almond extract. So the 3 of those. What else am I missing? Oh yes, I have purchased some tart wafers, and unfortunately these are not the right size, so I'm going to have to cut some down to fit I don't know why they make them square like this, because there's no pans that I know of that'll fit this size. Okay, so we'll need 2 of these wafers. And they're very delicate, so you want to handle them very carefully. They do come 6 in a pack, so you can certainly make this recipe a few times over. I was hoping to keep the plastic on, but I don't think I can. Okay. So we'll start off with 2 wafers and put the rest aside. Okay, so I have lined a second cookie sheet with some more parchment paper, and it probably should be a pan with a higher ridge than that, but that's the one that best fits my wafers here. Okay, so I'm going to trim off what I believe to be excess here. Let's see what have we got. To about there. Hopefully this will fit in there now. And there's 2 sides to this. One has larger holes. You want that, the first one, that up. I could cut this a little bit smaller. Maybe I'll take another 2 and cut them a bit smaller. So as I said, you want the larger holes up, and yes, that seems to fit in quite nicely. And then this one, when we make our filling, will be larger holes side down. So I'll put this aside for the time being. And we'll check these almonds. Yes, they're starting to peel. Okay, as you can see, I've got a lot of my almonds already peeled, and as I said, the way to do it is just to soak them in water. I should have done this a while ago, because you see how easy it is once they've been soaking. It just slips right off. I tried to do it too early and you're just struggling with it. So I'm going to finish these last few off, and then we are going to toast these almonds. See how easily they peel? Now, of course, you can buy them already peeled and save yourself this bit of work, but it isn't that difficult as long as you soak them. Alright, so I will get back to you when these are all done. Okay, my almonds have all been peeled, and I've got them spread out on a cookie sheet, and we're going to lightly toast them. And we have to keep an eye on these because we don't want them to burn, especially after all that work we went through. Okay, now I've got front burner going. Going to add in 1 stick of butter. And I'm going to use a big pot for this because we're going to melt a bag of marshmallows in there. Okay, now that my butter is melted, and I've turned down the heat, I had it up a bit too high. So I'm going to throw in a whole bag of marshmallows. And we may want a little bit more than that. Actually, I think I'm going to get another half bag. Okay, there's another half bag. And we want to melt this. Unfortunately, I really don't have a recipe, mostly because the wafers don't come in the size, so I'm just guesstimating, and I'm sure it's going to be fine anyway. Okay. So as soon as this is melted down somewhat, then we're going to add the chocolate chips. Keeping an eye on our almonds. Okay, not quite totally melted, but I'm going to add the chips now. You have this lovely chocolate. No, you can't see it there. Okay. Perhaps I will take it off the stove and bring the camera up closer. Okay, so there we can see everything melting in here nicely. Chocolate chips and marshmallows. Need quite the strong arm for this. Just have to be cautious with how much heat you have on this. Okay. And now we'll check the almonds. Not quite toasted to my satisfaction. Reuse that and throw it around for a second. And I can't say that this spatula is the right it's quite strong enough. That's better. I need something that can manipulate this a little bit better. I think that's going to be a whole lot better. Okay, this is ready. I'm just going to put it aside so it doesn't burn. Okay, I'm going to add my extracts. I'm going to add a tablespoon of the vanilla, a tablespoon of the orange. Probably would be less, but this is not the strongest extract. Actually, it's quite nice. So half a tablespoon. No, we'll do another half. We'll do a tablespoon of the orange and just a quarter teaspoon of the almond extract that I purchased from the store. Okay. So mix that in. Now I've got this off the heat at this point, but it's still hot. Now for the real trick. And that would be putting in all these toasted almonds and stirring them in. Okay, well, I'm not happy with the amount of olives that is in this batch. Either I had too much marshmallow or just not enough almonds. So I'm going to add more, and unfortunately, I don't have time to either peel or roast these. So we've got some with their skins on, which doesn't hurt anything, but I prefer them toasted and peeled. Now that's better. The quantity of almonds to mixture seems a bit better here. Okay, I decided to go for the deeper dish because I think we're going to need it. And just pour this into the wafers. I took the first one layer of wafer and okay. Now you're not going to get this perfectly on the whole thing, but the idea is to try and spread it evenly on this wafer. And I want to get as much as I can out of the pot. Why waste good chocolate marshmallow? There is a possibility I used too much marshmallow. Okay, now that that's spread as evenly as possible, then we take the larger side and press it down on top. And I want to get another piece of parchment. Put it on top of this, and then we weigh this down. Okay, well this is still pretty warm, but at this stage what we want to do is put some weight on it. So I've got my parchment paper there and a book that is pretty much the same size as the wafers. And that one's a little too big for that, so definitely want weight here. So I'm going to get another book to keep that area from squirting out. And hopefully I've got enough parchment around that I don't get anything on my books. And this one's just a bit on the large side. No, I can do it like that. Okay. So now we just wait until this cools down and hardens. Okay, I'll show you when it's all done. Okay, so this is firmed up somewhat, so I'm going to now clean up, trim the edges. And of course, all of this is edible. I don't throw any of this away, but you just don't give it to your guests. So I'll just put that aside for me. Okay. That's the one side. I think I'll do the other end as well. Too much marshmallow. It shouldn't have leaked out quite like that. Okay. So now I cut it into bite-sized pieces. Isn't that awesome looking? Okay. And I'm going to get a dish to put this on. As I said, these extra pieces are not for my guests. Okay, and this can be made ahead of time and frozen and taken out for your Christmas, for your guests at Christmas time. Okay. Okay, so that is the method and the recipe I use to make traditional Italian nougat candy. And yeah, it's very similar to what my mom used to make. And good memories, good memories. Anyway, that's my video for now. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.